Hi everybody, my name's Amelia and welcome back to my channel. So, I know this is a little weird, I'm not on camera, and that is just because, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling like putting my face on camera today, I guess, but, you know, that's okay, it happens. So, this little video, I just wanted to do a little deck roundup, and by little, I mean very little. Like, I wanted to show you a couple decks that I just never really got the chance to show on YouTube before I took my little break, and so I just kind of wanted to update you guys and show you the two decks that I got recently that have been really cool and that I've been obsessed with, and just give you an idea of what they look like, their energy, etc. Now, I think the last deck I showed was the Solitary Witch Oracle. Beautiful deck, great for the winter. Really, it's an all-season deck, but I just kind of favored it in the winter, so that was, you know, interesting. But you guys can totally check that out. It was my last deck video, but I wanted to go through some other stuff today. Now, with this little decor setup, you can see my little, like, wax melt kit because I am getting married. And anyway, I had these little like wax seals and they're just so cute. They're so fun to do, a little tricky. I definitely did start a fire doing it, so I've learned my lesson. Wax seals are much more tricky than I thought they were, but that's okay. You know what? It's all fun, and that is just how weddings go. Alright, so I don't want to spend too long in this intro, so let's go ahead and get into the first deck that I wanted to show you guys. So, the Citadel Fantasy Oracle by Fez Inkwright. I got this, I don't even know when, a long time ago. Again, it's been a while since I've been on YouTube, but I got this before I left. I just never got a chance to show you guys. Look how cool this is. It's supposed to be, hold on, I'll fix it. I have it all backwards. There you go. It's supposed to be like that, really cool. Isn't that nice? It's so fun. I don't know what that says. I'm sorry. I'll put the translation up on the screen. Something about fortune. I know that. But, yeah, I don't have the meaning directly in front of me. But it's one of those really cool, like, this looks a lot like this reminds me a lot of the packaging in the White Newman that I have. This is by Liminal 11, and these Liminal 11 decks are very similar with the little magnetic clasp and then like the decorated box and like the decorated interior. Actually, I will show you my other one real quick. So this is the White Newman, also by Liminal 11, and it also has like just the same kind of packaging with like the little decoration inside the box and then the decoration on the outside of the box. Different card setup on the inside, but both have decorated box packaging. It's very, very decorative. But yes, this is the Citadel Oracle, and I'm going to pull it out. Just such a cool packaging. I really like the Citadel's design. And so we have, oh my gosh, I don't even know what I'm doing. Okay. We have our guidebook, and then look at these cards. So, okay. So the thing that drew me to the Citadel was the shape of these cards, for one. I mean, there's a lot of things that drew me to this deck, but the shape of these cards is so cool. And I was super interested in the deck when I kind of saw the concept, when I saw the art. It's such a cool deck, and I really, really love the style. Fez Inkwright also made the Seed and Sickle Oracle, I believe. And that was a deck I had my eye on for the longest time, but the reason I didn't get it was because I've realized with oracles, I like to have the keywords on the bottom, especially if it's not super intuitive as to what the card means or if it requires a lot of memorization. So I've just kind of found that me personally, when it comes to oracle, I want there to be keywords in the bottom, because if there isn't, then if I don't know what, say, like an aspen tree represents, then it's really hard for me to work intuitively with the deck, and I tend to prefer to work without the guidebook more often than I work with the guidebook. Now, doing my personal readings, this guidebook has been great, so any readings I do for myself, look at this map. Guys, like the planning, the care that went into this book is so cool. It's just interesting. It feels like a fantasy game. Look how decorative this is. It is insane, and I love the meanings in it. I do enjoy this. Oh, and there's lots of spreads in the back too. Sorry, I'm like getting way ahead of myself. Wait, can you tell it's been a while since I've done a video like this? But yeah, like it's The guidebook is really helpful. I do enjoy it. You can use this deck for like games and inspiration. I haven't done that with it yet, though I do want to pair it with my Dungeons and Dragons tarot because I think that the two would go really well together, especially in a game setting like that. I just haven't done it yet. I have been my D&D fix is kind of coming from Baldur's Gate, which I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3 a little bit with a friend of mine, so that's kind of where my gaming I guess needs are going, and less so with card decks, but it could be something that would be a really interesting pairing in my mind. Both are very fantasy-like. The guidebook, again, is super helpful. I just myself only use it on personal readings, and I haven't really been using it for client readings. Okay, but let's just go ahead and look at these cards, because I know that that's what you guys are interested in. So the backs are gorgeous. I love it, and there's like the elemental parts of the suit. And then on the front, now mine are completely out of order, just forewarning, but look at the foiling. Oh my gosh. Like some of these cards have more foiling than others, and we'll look at a lot of them. Okay, here's like one of the craziest ones. Look at that. Ugh, it's beautiful. I love the red and the black and white and then like the copper detailing. But yeah, so the deck is like just super great in like its design. I love this art style so much. I don't know what it is about like line art. I'm gonna call it line art because I don't really know what else to call it, but I love just like the pen sort of design. It's one of the reasons that I really loved the Fyodor Pavlov with the pen art that existed in it, or even like the Mystical Dream Tarot. I love the art on that, and that's very like line-like, I guess. I'll put some pictures of those cards, those examples up at the top or on the screen, but like I really like that art style, so this is just, it speaks to me. Now, one thing that's interesting is you have like the title of the cards. This is the Weaver, and then you can see Rediscovery and Transition, and I really, really like having the keywords because that helps to guide me when I'm reading this thing, and I can think of what does a weaver mean to me, but I can also think of using these keywords as a way to guide me through a reading, and so I can do it more intuitively without having to use the guidebook. So we're just going to look through a couple of these cards just to show you guys. I'm going to do a quick like video flip through and you guys can just get a good look. What I really love about this deck, as I finish up this little flip through, is again like all of the negative space, I guess, so with the black feeling more like a void and then the white space in some cards. I just really love the way it's done. The art is just so, I don't want to say pulling, I don't know how to explain that. I'm pulled, I'm drawn into it. I just really love how emotive it feels to me. And I love that you can just like pick and see like all these little like symbols throughout it. I love that there's an elemental symbol involved in a lot of these cards. I love that it's so connected to this citadel, this fantasy setting. It feels really, really involved and well thought out to me. I just really, really enjoy it. I have used this as, you know, the way I use all my Oracle decks is kind of just as a supplement or like a final like send off when I do readings with people to give a little bit more of an uplifting feel. And I really, really like just this deck as one that I use for regularly for people, again, because it's very easy to look at. There's a lot of pre-existing understanding of like, what does a warrior mean to you? What does an archer mean to you? That I can pull into readings, which makes it super, just, I don't want to say too easy to use, because I don't want to say like easy as like a bad thing. Like easy is a good thing. It's a really smooth deck to use in readings, and I love pairing it with a lot of my other decks. I don't know, I've paired it a lot with Ethereal Visions, I've paired it a lot with my classic RWS tarot, I've paired it with my Archetypes deck. There's just a lot of decks that this worked really well for. So I really like it. It's a beautiful deck. I don't know, I don't give my Oracle decks the same sort of personalities and zodiac signs as I do with tarot. So it's sometimes hard to explain why I like a certain oracle more than others. But this one is just stunning. It's so fun to hold. It's super easy to shuffle, super easy to work with. I find that it evokes a lot of emotion. It might be, I don't want to say it's like my favorite oracle deck because I'm not entirely certain that it is, but it's certainly close. It's definitely in my top 3 for sure. And I mean, that just, I can't bridge it, but that doesn't matter to me. It shuffles really easily. You can go from the side. It works great. It's a great little deck. I really like it. It's beautiful, and I highly recommend it, I guess. So that is the Citadel Fantasy Oracle. Alright, I thank you guys for being so patient with me as I try to get back in the groove of filming these videos, and I hope that at least looking at these decks can help inspire you. Maybe it's a deck you already have, maybe it's one that you're interested in. So I appreciate your patience with me as I try to figure out what the heck I'm supposed to do on camera these days. So the next deck I wanted to show is the Shadowland Tarot by Monica Bodersky. Now I have posted tarot shorts, like YouTube shorts and Instagram reels about this deck, just because it's been like such a cute little like deck. Look at this hefty guidebook. This is a big guidebook. Do you like the spider on the side? That's like one of my favorite parts about this. It's such a cool, hefty book, and I feel like the meanings are really nice. I haven't dove into it a lot. Again, I tend not to be a guidebook person. I tend to be a intuitive reader. So I can't say I've dove into it a lot, but I have looked at it a couple times. Okay, well, this may not be my favorite. There we go. This deck, who was it made by? Red Feather, Mind, Body, Spirit, an imprint of Schiffer Publishing. Okay. Yeah, so maybe not a publisher that I'm super familiar with, but that's okay. So, first of all, look at this. Look at the edging. Now, mine's a little worn. It's a little beat up. Oh my gosh, there's like cat hair in it. It's a little worn, a little beat up because I have used it quite a few times. And look at the line art. See, I don't know what it is. I don't know what else to call this. Like, it just this like sketchy kind of art. That sounds weird, sketchy. But you know, like, I don't know, like someone would put this in the sketchbook. I don't know. But I really like it. And what I love about this deck is how it is so like little cryptid, kind of weird, kind of creepy, kind of kooky. I love that vibe for this. And for some reason it speaks to my inner child. So my inner child is a little kooky, I guess. I'm not a huge fan of the yellow backs. I'm not a huge fan of the highlighter yellow color. But I also don't stare at the backs of my cards super often, so it's not that big of a deal to me. I really love the art on it. It's just so bizarre. I love it. And it feels like a generally like intuitive reader for me. Like some of the cards are renamed, but I don't have a problem with that. I know what I'm looking at. Look, he's like a headless person and the cat's telling him where to go. That's like so cool. I don't know. There's something about it that like you look at it and you have a whole different meaning, and you sort of like, I don't know, it just kind of encourages you to look at cards a little bit differently. Let me turn these all around real quick. It feels really nice in the hands too. I was just like moving through it, but I like how I can like look at this and I get my own sort of meaning, but it's still RWS enough. Like this is still really close to the RWS style, so you know, you can kind of see some familiar imagery, but it's also sometimes a little quirky, sometimes a little bit different. And I don't know, it's just a cute little deck. I find it honestly joyful. Is that strange? Like, I don't think it's like so creepy that it's depressing. To me, this is kind of like a fun, joyful, playful little deck. Maybe that's why it speaks to my inner child. My inner child must have been obsessed with monsters and Halloween. True, but I don't know. I really liked it. I've used this deck a couple times, mostly for like little inner child readings or just to have a little pick-me-up. It's a very much like a pick-me-up, happy sort of deck for me. And it gives me like Sagittarius vibes because of how happy and cutesy it is, but how it's like filled with depth. It's here to work with you and kind of test your philosophy, and it's here to encourage you to think beyond like what you already are, like I guess to push your limits, to really explore the more than the reality that we live in, I suppose. I don't know how to word that. I'm such a way with words today. But I don't know, it's so cute and so fun, and I feel like it's not like gentle. I wouldn't say it's gentle, but it does sort of like, it's here for your inner self, and it is willing to work with you without judgment, without fear, without making you feel like you have to always have it together. Like, I don't feel like I have to be an adult when I hold this deck. I feel like I can play and be messy and make mistakes, and this deck will be like, hey, that's exactly what you should be doing right now. Good for you. So I really like it. It's a little cryptid, cutesy little deck. I remember when I got this deck, and I got it because I hadn't really allowed myself to treat myself to a deck in a while, and I had been struggling emotionally, and I wasn't allowing myself to play and explore and be youthful. I felt like I had a lot of responsibility on my shoulders. So this deck came to me when I really needed it. I'm gonna do a quick shuffle with it real quick. I will say it's a little stiff. The cardstock isn't super flexible. I mean, it's flexible enough, but it's a little thick for me. So it doesn't shuffle amazingly, like, well. I don't want to say well, because it's not horrible. It's just, it's stiff. But I also know it's going to be really sturdy, and it's not going to warp. So that is a plus. I just think this deck sort of... I at the time wasn't allowing myself to purchase decks. I wasn't allowing myself to explore tarot in the way that I had been before. And I purchased this deck at a time when I really needed something fun and joyful in my life, and this was the deck for me. And it's been super cute to like use and work with, and it honestly makes me want to get back into tarot. I feel like this deck kind of encourages you, I'm gonna try to keep them all upright, encourages you to like explore your inner passions, even when they feel silly, even when you're not entirely sure that that is the right choice. Like, I was holding this and I was like, you know what, like, I really want to get back into a consistent tarot practice, because I'm gonna be honest, it has not been consistent, and I want to keep playing and living life and creating art, and that's something that I wasn't allowing myself to do. Overall, these are two really great decks for different reasons. This one's definitely more mature than this one in my mind. This one is great for really in-depth readings, to explore yourself, to treat your soul as a citadel in its own right, to kind of look at your soul and facets of you as different characters and places within this realm. Where this one is much more fun, and it's like, be a little monster, be a little gremlin. Like, it's okay to lean into the more chaotic side of things and to look at things with a youthful perspective. And so they're vastly different. I purchased them at different times, but I did want to talk about both of them on the channel because I hadn't done it yet. And I do look forward into eventually doing an updated deck collection for you guys. But until then, I hope that this helped get a little glimpse into my tarot practice recently and just some of the decks that I haven't yet shown. So if you guys like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more tarot content. And anyway, until next time, I will catch you later.